Have you ever felt like you are wandering blindly through a world that is obsessed with the wrong things? Imagine for a moment that you are standing at the ultimate crossroads of your life. On one side, the world is shouting at you, offering you wealth, status, the perfect relationship, and the ultimate comfort. On the other side, there is a quieter, much harder path, a path that promises nothing but the mastery of your own mind. Which do you choose every single day? From the moment you open your eyes, you are thrown into the greatest battlefield of human existence, the invisible, relentless war between good and evil, between right and wrong. Welcome back, fellow seekers of wisdom. Today, we are going to dive deep into ancient Stoic secrets that will fundamentally rewire how you view your life, your struggles, and the people around you. We are going to explore the profound teachings of the Stoic master Epictetus to discover where true good and true evil actually reside. If you stay with me, you will learn why the things you are currently stressing over are completely irrelevant, and how you can forge an unshakable, invincible character in a world of chaos. To understand the battle between right and wrong, we first have to ask a question that most people go their entire lives without asking. What is the true nature of the good look around you? Modern society tells us that the good is found in the material world. We chase the perfect body, the sprawling estate, the viral fame, and the endless accumulation of wealth. But Epictetus asks us point blank, is the nature of God, and therefore the nature of the good, found in the flesh? God forbid. Is it found in land or fame? God forbid. The true nature of the good is found only in intelligence, knowledge, and right reason. You see, we share many things with the animals. A dog or an ass has the power to deal with impressions and physical needs, but they do not have the power to understand how they do so. They are born to serve a primary need, like bearing burdens. But you are not a beast of burden. You are a rational human being. You are a principal work, a fragment of God Himself, and you actually bear a part of the divine within you. Pause and let that sink in. When you eat, when you converse, when you train your body, you are nourishing and training the divine. You carry God about with you. Yet you are often completely unaware of it, defiling that divine spark with unclean thoughts and foul actions. If you stood before a magnificent statue of Zeus or Athena, crafted by the great sculptor Phidias, you would try to do nothing unworthy of the presence of such art. Yet, God Himself has crafted you and entrusted you to your own care, saying, I had none other more trustworthy than you. Keep this man for me such as he is born to be. Modest, faithful, high-minded, undismayed. When you realize this, the line between good and evil becomes crystal clear. Right and wrong are not about what happens to you, but how you treat the divine trust you have been given. But here is where many modern seekers fall into a dangerous trap. We live in an era of information. We love to sharpen our intellects, argue in comment sections, and consume endless books on philosophy and logic. We think that being smart makes us good. Epictetus warns us that our faculties, including the faculty of disputative and plausible reasoning, are actually fraught with danger when they fall into the hands of those who are without education and character. A sharp mind without a grounded moral compass only tends to exalt and puff a person up. You might be able to win every argument, But if you trample over others and walk around in a high state of elation, unable to bear criticism, you have entirely missed the point of philosophy. Does this mean we should abandon logic and reasoning? Absolutely not. The art of reasoning is strictly necessary. If someone challenges you to convince them that logic is useful, you must use a demonstrative argument to do so. And if they ask how they will know if you are imposing a fallacy on them, they have to rely on logic to figure it out. This proves that logic is essential, for without it, you cannot even learn whether it is necessary or not. But reasoning is a tool, a weapon to carve through falsehood, not the end goal itself. So, what is the end goal? What is the actual material that a good person works with, just as a physician works with the human body, and a farmer works with the land? The material of the good man is his own governing principle. Your job is to deal with the impressions that hit your mind in a natural, rational way, just like a soul naturally assents to what is true and dissents from what is false. It is naturally moved to get what is good and avoid what is evil. You cannot refuse a clear impression of the good, just as a merchant cannot refuse the emperor's valid currency. Every human being operates on a currency. A thief uses the currency of stolen money. An adulterer uses the currency of forbidden pleasure. But the Stoic uses the currency of the good. When you step out into the world, you must test every impression with this currency. If you see a beautiful person, or a man mourning the loss of a child, or a politician flaunting his power, apply the rule. Is this within the control of my will, or beyond it? If it is beyond your will, you must instantly declare, "Take it away. This coin will not pass. I have no concern with it." This is the very essence of separating right from wrong. Evil is not the loss of your property, or the death of a loved one, or the cruelty of a tyrant. These things are external to your will. What is weeping, lamenting, and feeling unfortunate? It is nothing but your own faulty judgment. Faction, discord, and foolishness are all just judgments passed on things beyond the will, treating them as if they were true good and evil. If you can turn your efforts solely to the sphere of your own will, you are guaranteed to enjoy peace of mind, no matter what circumstances surround you. Welcome back to the arena. In our previous chapter, we stripped away the illusion that good and evil reside in your bank account, your physical health, or your social status. We located the ultimate battleground between right and wrong firmly within the only thing you actually control, your own rational will. But you might be asking, how does this internal philosophical shift actually change my day-to-day life? How does it affect my friendships, my family, and the people who constantly annoy me? This brings us to one of the most brutal, uncompromising truths of ancient Stoicism. It is a truth that will challenge everything you think you know about love, loyalty, and human connection. Let us talk about friendship. You look at your friends, your siblings, your romantic partners, and you believe that you love them. You swear that you would do anything for them. But Epictetus challenges this comfortable illusion. He asks us to observe how a pack of dogs behave. Have you ever seen two dogs fawning over each other, playing together, and looking like the best of friends? You would say nothing could be friendlier. But if you want to see what that friendship is really made of, throw a piece of meat between them. Instantly, The play stops, fangs come out, vicious growls erupt, and they are ready to tear each other apart. Human beings are no different. Throw a piece of land, a sudden inheritance, a beautiful woman, or a bit of public glory between you and your friend, and you will quickly learn the true nature of your bond. How many families have been permanently destroyed over a dispute about a will? How many lifelong friendships have been shattered over money or jealousy? Why does this happen? Epictetus gives us the profound psychological answer. Every creature, to speak generally, is attached to nothing so much as to its own interest. This is an unbreakable law of nature. Whatever a man believes to be his ultimate interest, he will fiercely protect. If that interest is threatened by his father, his brother, his child, or his country, he will hate them, guard against them, and curse them. If you place your concept of the good in material, external things, if you believe that money, status, or physical pleasure are your true interests, then your friends and family are only safe as long as they do not stand in your way. When your interests clash with theirs, you will weigh them in the balance against your money or your pride, and they will be found wanting. As Epictetus warns, if interest is in one scale, and in the other friends and country and kindred and justice itself, all these are weighed down by interest and disappear. So, where is the line between good and evil here? How do we become true friends, true partners, and true citizens? The answer is radical. You must stop placing your good in external things. If you identify your true self with your will, and you make it your sole interest to maintain your honor, your good faith, your self-control, and your forbearance, then and only then can you be a friend in the true sense. Why? Because your good is entirely within your own control. No one can steal your honor. No one can inherit your self-respect. If your friend gets a promotion, or your brother gets the larger share of the land, you do not care, because your interest is not tied to that piece of land. You can gladly let them have it, because by yielding it, you are actually gaining something far more valuable, a gentle, harmonious, and noble character. You give up the lettuce, but you keep your peace of mind. When men give and take what is truly good, and nothing else, friendship becomes unbreakable. This profound realization completely annihilates the modern world's obsession with arguing, fighting, and getting even. We live in a society that loves to contend. We argue on the internet. We hold grudges at work. We seek revenge for the slightest disrespect. But the Stoic sage, the man who truly understands the difference between right and wrong, does not contend with anyone, and to the best of his power, he stops others from contending. How is this possible? Because the Stoic has realized that there is absolutely nothing worth fighting over. Contention, faction, and war only arise when we judge external things to be either good or evil. The legendary conflict between the brothers Epictetus and Polynices, who killed each other in battle, was caused by one simple, tragic error. In judgment, they believed that sitting on a king's throne was the greatest good, and that exile was the worst of evils. If right will is the only true good, and wrong will is the only true evil, what is left to fight about? You cannot steal my will, and I do not want your possessions. When you adopt this mindset, your entire experience of the world shifts. Nothing takes you by surprise. You expect the unenlightened, the wicked, to act according to their ignorance. If a toxic neighbor insults you, what should your reaction be? Many thanks to him for not striking. And if he does strike you, many thanks to him for not wounding. You are not a piece of fragile crockery. You are a rational will. If someone throws stones at you, it is not an offense that belongs to you. The offense belongs entirely to the person throwing them. When you seek revenge, when you bite back and act like a wolf, you are destroying the very thing that makes you human. You lose your rational, trustworthy, and civilized nature. You are punishing yourself by turning yourself into a savage beast. Let this sink into your mind. There are specific, inescapable punishments ordained by the universe for those who refuse to understand what is truly good and truly evil. Do you think you can chase wealth and status without paying a price? The divine law states that whoever judges external things to be good will be punished with envy, burning desire, flattery, and constant distraction. And whoever judges external things to be evil will be punished with distress, mourning, lamentation, and endless misfortune. Every time you feel anxious, every time you feel a pang of jealousy looking at someone else's success, you are paying the penalty for your own false judgments. We uncovered the harsh reality that when we tie our happiness to external things, we are actively punishing ourselves with envy, anxiety, and endless distraction. But knowing this and living it are two very different things. How do we actually apply this when the world comes at us? How do we deal with the ultimate enemies of our peace, the disrespect of others, the fear of looking weak, and the sudden chaos of life? Now, we are going to forge your mental armor. We are going to build what the Stoics call the inner citadel. Let us start with the most common trap in the modern world, the obsession with being right and the endless desire to argue. We see it everywhere in comment sections, in office politics, in road rage, and in our own living rooms. But Epictetus gives us a rule that completely shatters this behavior. The good and noble man does not contend with anyone, and to the best of his power does not suffer others to contend. How is this possible in a world full of difficult people? Look at the ultimate example of the Stoic sage, Socrates. Socrates lived in his own house and bore with a most shrewish wife and an unfeeling son. Imagine being one of the greatest philosophers in history and returning home to a wife whose shrewishness meant pouring water at will over his head and trampling on his cake. Did Socrates lose his mind? Did he scream and fight back to demand respect? No. He understood a foundational law of the universe. No man is master of another's governing principle. He knew it was not his job to force others to act naturally. His only business was to let others act for themselves as they saw fit, while he kept his own mind in accord with nature. But, you might say, that is Socrates. What about me? What if someone openly disrespects me? What if they insult me or try to ruin my reputation? Epictetus anticipates this perfectly. He uses a brilliant analogy. Imagine you are standing outside and someone attacks you. "My neighbor has thrown stones," you say. The ordinary man gets furious and complains. "But my crockery is broken." Hear the master's voice cutting straight through your fragile ego. "You are no piece of crockery, you are a rational will. when someone throws a stone, or leaves a toxic comment, or cuts you off in traffic? What are your options if you want to act the wolf? You may bite back and throw more stones at him than he threw. But when you do this, you are destroying the most valuable thing you possess. A dog is miserable when it cannot follow a trail, not when it cannot fly. On the same principle, a man is wretched, not when he cannot throttle lions or embrace statues, but when he has lost his rational and trustworthy faculty. When you lower yourself to their level, you lose the qualities that make you man, the distinctive stamp impressed upon your mind. You are trading your own inner peace to fight over a broken piece of pottery, but immediately, your pride rebels. What then? Do you want me to be despised? We are absolutely terrified of looking weak to the crowd. Epictetus simply laughs at this fear and asks, despised by whom? By those who know nay. How will those who know despise one who is gentle and self-respecting? Or do you mean you are afraid of being despised by the ignorant? What do you care for them? No craftsman cares for those who have no skill. When you fully internalize this, you become untouchable. You can step out into the world and openly proclaim that you are at peace with all men, whatever they do, and that you laugh above all at those who think that they are harming you. You realize that these ignorant people do not know who you are, nor where to find what is good or bad for you, for they have no way of getting at your position. This brings us to the construction of your inner citadel. Modern society tries to build fortresses out of material things. We want the strongest walls, the most secure bank accounts, and the highest social status. But Epictetus asks, what wall is so strong, or what substance so impenetrable, or what property so secure against robbery, or what reputation so unassailable? The answer is none of them. If the objects a man sets his mind on are external, they are bound to bring him trouble of mind, sick hopes, fear, and mourning, because they are always subject to death and to capture. The soul of man is made secure by judgments alone. But what happens when sudden chaos hits? What happens when tragedy strikes and you feel yourself beginning to panic? Epictetus offers us a profound and beautiful psychological image to keep us grounded. The soul is like a dish full of water, and the impressions like the rays of light which strike the water. When the water is disturbed by an event, the light seems to be disturbed too, but it is not really disturbed. When you have a fit of dizziness or panic, your virtues and your rational mind are not actually destroyed. It is only the spirit in which they exist that is temporarily agitated. All you have to do is wait. Let the water settle. When this is at rest, they come to rest too. If you can master this, if you can stop fighting over external things and let the water of your mind settle, the results are miraculous. These judgments make affection in a household, concord in a city, peace among nations. They make a man grateful towards God, confident in all places. For he looks on outward things as alien to him and as worth nothing. But the brutal truth is that most of us are hypocrites. We read these Stoic texts. We watch these videos. We praise the philosophy, but we do not actually live it. We are exactly like the old proverb, lions at home, foxes at Ephesus. In the lecture room, or the YouTube comment section, we are lions, full of bold philosophy. But in the real world outside, We become timid foxes, terrified of losing our possessions and obsessed with what others think of us. It is time to stop being foxes. It is time to realize that weeping and lamenting, misfortune, faction, discord, criticism, accusation, irreligion, and foolishness are all just judgments, nothing else, and judgments passed on things beyond the will. If you turn your effort to the sphere of the will, I guarantee that you will enjoy peace of mind, whatever your circumstances may be. You have now seen the battlefield. You know that the war between right and wrong is not fought over property, social status, or the opinions of the crowd. You know that to tie your happiness to these external things is to invite the inescapable punishments ordained by the universe, the punishments of envy, anxiety, mourning, and constant distraction. You have built your inner citadel. But how do we maintain this fortress in the modern world, where our phones buzz with notifications, where we are bombarded by advertisements, and where the daily grind drains our energy? How does the Stoic sage actually live? Epictetus gives us a profound, practical exercise, a morning routine that is infinitely more powerful than simply drinking a glass of water or making your bed. He tells us exactly how to program our minds for absolute invincibility. Go out as soon as it is dawn, and whomsoever you may see and hear. Question yourself and answer as to an interrogator. Imagine walking out your front door tomorrow morning. You open your phone or you walk down the street, and immediately the world throws an impression at you. What did you see? Perhaps you see a highly attractive person on a billboard or walking past you. The ordinary man feels a pang of desire and starts imagining a life with them. But you are the modern Stoic. You stop and apply the rule. Is this within the control of my will, or beyond it? It is beyond it. Therefore, your answer must be immediate and ruthless. Away with it then. What else did you see? Perhaps you saw a news story about a parent mourning the tragic loss of a child. It breaks your heart, but apply the rule. Is death within the control of the will, or beyond it? It is beyond the will's control. Put it out of the way then. Did a modern-day consul meet you? Did you see a billionaire, a famous celebrity, or a powerful CEO flaunting their private jet and their massive influence? Apply the rule. What is this high office and immense wealth? Is it beyond the will's control, or within it? It is beyond it. Therefore, you must look at this display of power and declare, take it away, the coin will not pass. Reject it, you have no concern with it. If we did this, and trained ourselves on this principle every single day from dawn to night, we should indeed achieve something magnificent. As it is, we are caught open-mouthed by every impression we meet. We see a powerful person and we say, lucky man. Or we see a poor person and we say, wretched man, he has nothing to buy food with. But these are just mistaken judgments passed on things entirely outside of our control. If you can turn your effort to the sphere of the will, you will enjoy peace of mind, whatever your circumstances may be. To know if you are succeeding in this, you must examine the stamp on your soul, just as we look for the stamp on a coin to determine its value. We must look at the distinctive stamp impressed upon a man's mind. When you hold a coin, whose imprint does it bear? If it bears the face of the great and noble Emperor Trajan, you say, here with it, I accept it. But if it bears the face of the cruel and tyrannical Nero, what do? You say, fling it away. It will not pass. It is good for nothing. It is exactly the same with your own character. What stamp do your daily judgments bear? Are they gentle, sociable, patient, and affectionate? If so, that is the stamp of true humanity. But beware that you do not carry the stamp of Nero within your own mind. Are you hot-tempered? Are you wrathful? Are you constantly complaining and finding fault with your co-workers, your family, or your government? If you walk through life looking for someone to kick or bite, you are not even acting like a sheep or an ass. You have devolved into some savage beast. This brings us to the ultimate, inescapable definition of good and evil. Man's nature is fundamentally civilized, affectionate, and trustworthy. The true evil in this world is not losing your money, your reputation, or even your life. The only true evil is acting against your own rational nature. When a man chooses to be cruel, when he gives in to road rage, internet trolling, or petty revenge, he suffers the most pitiful and shameful fate possible. He changes from a man into a wolf, or a serpent, or a wasp. Do you want to be a wasp, buzzing around, stinging people, and living a reactive, miserable life? Or do you want to be a human being, a fragment of God Himself, operating with the currency of the good? The material of the good man is his own governing principle. Your mind is your canvas. We must not be the kind of people who read these ancient texts, nod our heads, and then go out into the world and act like cowards. We must not be lions at home, foxes at Ephesus. We must take the philosophy out of the lecture room, out of the YouTube video, and into the fire of real life. The battle between good and evil, between right and wrong, is happening right now, in your own head. Will you choose the external world of anxiety, or the internal world of absolute freedom? The choice, as always, is entirely yours. Thank you for joining me on this deep dive into the ancient, uncompromising wisdom of Epictetus. If this journey has helped you forge your inner citadel, if it has shifted your perspective from the chaos of the outside world to the unshakable power of your own will, please leave a like on this video and subscribe to the channel. Share this essay with a friend, a brother, or a fellow traveler who needs to hear this truth today. Drop a comment below with the word invincible, so I know who made it to the very end of. Until next time, keep your focus on what you control and let the rest go. I wish you profound health, incredible luck, deep peace, and an abundance of true, rational happiness. Stay strong, stay stoic, and I will see you in the next one.